Greetings, fellow Armchair Imagineers. Jacob Wile here, and welcome to our recap of the long-awaited return of DuckTales. Tonight we're talking about Season 2, Episode 7, Whatever Happened to Della Duck. I'm joined tonight with Tiki. How are you doing today, Tiki?
Yeah, hey there, Jacob. I'm very excited. Of course, at least one part of this episode made me very, very happy, as you were talking about before we went live on air. Jacob, we got the epic moon theme. I mean, let's not beat around the bush here. This episode was great in a lot of ways, but by far, like, the big fan favorite, like, give a dog a bone kind of thing is, like, here. We've kind of teased around with it. We've given you bits and pieces, little tiny snippets of it, but we're gonna bring it in a big bad way. And here's the moon theme, and I'm so happy, Jacob. I'm very, very happy with this episode.
Yeah, me too. What's kind of funny about that is that I was watching it on Disney Now, and the captions even mentioned as the moon theme from the NES video game.
Yeah. I saw that on Prime.
It's kind of funny how they explicitly acknowledge that. It's pretty cool. Like, yep, it's like this is from a video game, but it's pretty much a piece of video game history, and to bring it here, it's pretty much acknowledging that game's place in DuckTales history.
All right, so in terms of characterization, Jacob, I thought this episode was a masterclass.
It's like mainly focused on one episode, on one character for about 20 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, I just think the voice acting, the characterization, the animation, the writing, the dialogue, it all came together. I mean, I don't want to go as far as to say this is the best episode of the series. I'd have to give Season 1 a rewatch to make that claim first. But I mean, it's up there. It's I mean, I'd say it's probably in my top 2 or 3. It's like it's solid throughout. It builds an arc and it delivers on it. And call one movie out here. And I apologize to anyone watching who might be a fan of this movie, but I feel like this movie does The Martian better in 22 minutes what The Martian did in 2.5 hours.
Well, I can't really say anything. I haven't seen The Martian.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That movie's kind of like a very general crowd pleaser, but man, the pace of that movie is so slow. It's like literally like an hour and a half of that movie screen time is Matt Damon growing potatoes. Something that Samwise Gamgee would be very, very happy about.
That's hilarious.
Potatoes. All right. Anyways, so Pink Pearl Apple. Hey, nice to see you. Nice to see you, Pink Pearl Apple. Pink Pearl Disney Wishes. I assume it's the same person. Pink Pearl Apple, what did you think about this episode? Because I know that you are a big Della Duck fan. I love the characterization of Della Duck in this episode. It did not disappoint me one bit. We got just a big old fat 22-minute slice of Della Duck, and I loved every minute of it. I thought the animation was on point. I thought the voice acting was really on point.
I'm willingly avoiding this episode in favor of a huge marathon in May.
You know what? Pink Pearl Apple, that's totally fair. That's totally fair. I would if that's the case, I would kind of just bow out now. I'm really glad to see you though. Nice to see you're doing well. All right. But Pink Pearl Apple, I just to not spoil anything, but you're not going to be disappointed in this episode. Like, not by a long shot. All right. Anyways, so Jacob, where do you want to go from here? What do you like? Do you agree with me that the characterization for Della is just very, very on point?
It's kind of interesting that seeing without a lot of interaction, you can see like how well she would get along with the other characters. Like it's like especially like a characterization like with the whole like it's so simple Gyro could do it, and then she's like it's so simple Della could do it. And then she just, good thing Donald isn't here.
Well, my personal favorite example of that is the SOS, like, Darn it, I don't have enough scrap metal left for a real SOS. What can I do?
To get Scrooge's attention. It's like she's gonna make a dollar sign, isn't she?
Giant money sign.
Exactly. It's like, I called it, but that's still funny. Because that's definitely something Scrooge would see to get attention. Get his attention for sure.
I gotta say, Jacob, legitimate tears were shed on my part. I mean, I'm kind of a big wimp, and I'm getting even softer in my old age. But there were a couple moments of the one, basically the first birthday, and then the moon theme song, essentially the lullaby.
Oh yeah, that was beautiful.
I mean, those two moments really got to me, and I think they bookended the episode quite nicely.
Yeah, I mean, I have to agree.
All right.
I have to admit though, they did make some pretty interesting decisions with this episode too. I mean, the whole decision that they revealed that she actually had to get a robot leg and all.
Yeah, that was cool. That was cool. It kind of reminded me of How to Train Your Dragon.
It's more like it's more of a 127 hours.
Oh man, that's a great movie. I'm sorry, I don't want to go off on a tangent, but like 2010 was such a good year. I mentioned this before. Inception, Scott Pilgrim, 127 hours, Toy Story 3. Man, that year was a home run. How to Train Your Dragon was that year too, the original.
Yep.
Anyways, man, 2010. I can't believe that was nostalgic for 2010, Jacob. That honestly scares the crap out of me. I'm getting so old.
Well, that was almost 10 years ago.
I know. And it went by in a flash. Anyways.
Because I still thought that was a pretty gutsy move. Like, yep.
Yeah, it is.
Yep, a major character lost her leg.
And I love how not only is this a character-centric episode where it's literally just like the one character throughout the whole scenario, but it's a character that we haven't seen before except for in very, very small flashes. And yet the show has the guts to and have the confidence, more importantly. I felt this episode was just brimming with confidence in terms of how sure they were that we would like Della's character, that we would like the voice actor, that we would like the characterization, and just delivered it all up to us on a silver platter. I mean, I really fell in love with this character.
And I mean, especially considering it earlier episodes kind of pander as someone who abandoned her kids to go on an adventure. I mean, it'd take a lot to get some kind of sympathy out of that, but it clearly shows that she was trying to get back the entire time. Mm-hmm. Especially when she got into the storm, like she tried to get back, but was unable to due to unfortunate circumstances.
Well, it's definitely a nice parallel to Scrooge and the whole like I am, the whole thing where Scrooge is just like blamed for not doing anything, and yet he was working tirelessly the entire time as well. It's kind of a beautiful sort of parallel in that regard.
It's definitely tragic to be certain.
Mm-hmm.
Tragic irony in some ways, especially when we see one of Scrooge's scouts come so close to finding her. I mean, we know that it's not going to work, but it's still sad nonetheless.
Yeah, that I agree. That got to me because it was just like just kind of the inevitability of it. Like it was so hopeful, and yet I don't know. Just I love the deteriorating mental state of Della throughout the episode. As she kind of goes from just very hopeful and optimistic, and how that changes with the music. How that changes, like the mood theme goes from at first it's very cheerful, like she's literally humming it, like singing, doing a sing song of it. to, at the end, a very melancholy but beautiful lullaby version of it. That I don't know, like that to me was like the Emmy worthy. Like if this episode was nominated, should be nominated for any Emmy, it should be for the music. Best adapted score, I guess.
Who knows? It's kind of interesting how they like brought it into the forefront and even gave it an interesting meaning too.
Mm-hmm. All right.
And again, and as I pointed out before, as everything is once again Gyro's fault.
Yeah, I love how that is kind of a running joke through the episode. And by the way, what do you think of that whole plot device? I thought that was really clever and a great way where it's like at first it's very humorous, you know, the whole idea of the licorice gum and the gyro branding, you know, like the best flavored gum in the world, and it's not at all.
Black licorice sucks. I mean, I agree with Della.
Oh, I totally agree. I literally don't know anyone who likes black licorice. If you do, you know, I mean, all the more power to you. But I don't know what to tell you.
And it somehow gets more flavorful as you chew it. Couldn't have made it bubblegum, eh, Gyro? And what about the whole bit with the gold tooth? Like, yeah, that's a good idea. Like, make a ship that runs on gold.
I've had gold in my mouth this whole time. I've had gold in my mouth this whole time.
Yeah, like Scrooge would approve of it. Why would Scrooge approve of a ship that runs on gold?
Yeah, that is like
that is a bit weird. Or maybe he did. Maybe
that'd be like Mr. Krabs. That'd be like Mr. Krabs building a golden Krusty Krab just for the sake of it.
Like it basically costs more than it's worth.
Exactly. We all know that Mr. Krabs, he might be greedy, but he's not bad with money.
Like the more accurate parallel would be like if he made a ship and its fuel was money.
Yeah, right. Somehow.
Anyway.
I have good reasons to never let go of the dime, boy.
Just a lot of interesting stuff in this episode. I mean, there's not much more we can say about it.
Yeah, I just really quickly I want to give credit to the voice actors. I'm not sure if I'm saying this right. I hope I am, but Paget Brewster.
I think it's Paget or Page. I don't know.
Paget? All right.
Let's go with Page or something.
Well, no, let's not go with Page because I know it's not Page, but
I don't know what it is.
I'm gonna go with Paget. That's classy.
I don't know.
So she's best known for The Dark Knight Returns and Batman and Harley Quinn. And what do you think of her performance? Because I fell in love with it, man. I fell in love with it. It was so good. It was so energetic. Like it was definitely like different from how Donald would deliver his lines, but still you could tell that it's in the same family as Donald Duck.
Yeah, I mean, I thought she was an interesting choice when she was first shown at the season 1 finale.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if she was in the time travel episode as young Della or if that was somebody else.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. Hold on, I can look into that really quick. But what do you think of her performance though?
But I was overall impressed. I mean, like it's hard to carry an entire episode by herself. And she definitely delivered on that. I mean, sure, of course, there were like other characters in there, but majority of it was mostly just her speaking either to herself or to a camera. And near the end, just a couple other people.
Just to confirm, yes, it was her in the last Christmas episode.
All right.
All right. So, what do you think of the? This is the part of the episode that kind of is the thing that makes me hesitant to say that it's the best episode ever. and it's the whole moon people thing. I mean, don't get me wrong, I guess it's a funny reveal, the whole, like, there's been a city on the moon the whole time, and I've just been living out in the desert. Like, I guess it's a good punchline, but at the same point, I don't necessarily think this episode needed a punchline. I don't know. Like, I'm a little hesitant about that.
It's just kind of weird. I just still find it honestly found it kind of weird that they've been fighting. She's been taking care of this mine, dealing with it for 10 years, but they only come across these moon people now.
Yeah, that was my big problem with it. I mean, it's like, I get that they're there to set up, like, I assume these guys are going to be, if not the big bads of the season, at least have an arc where they're villains. But or at least Penumbra is going to be a villain. We can see. I don't know about Linares, but but at the very least, well, I don't know. Linares, he did seem kind of shady. It's like, we had that whole line with him where it's like, oh, she's exactly what we need, or something like that. Like, there may be some nefarious intentions there. Anyways, I digress. But
it just felt like I just didn't feel like it. I mean, it worked fine, but it just didn't seem like it paid off that well.
Mm-hmm.
No, not paid off, but it wasn't set up that well.
So speaking of Penumbra and Linares, I hope I'm saying Linares right.
I think that's what it was.
All right, Julie Bowen and Lance Reddick.
I mean, I've heard both their names, but none of them are.
Lance Reddick, I've definitely heard his name. He's more of a character actor. Julie Bowen, I know from Dexter. Have you watched Dexter?
No, but I know what it is. The show with Michael C. Hall.
Yes. She plays Dexter's very, very timid girlfriend, Rita. And it's just, I think it's fun that she's getting the chance to play like a full all-out villain character after playing Rita. And I know she's played other villain characters after Rita. She's kind of pretty versatile as an actress that way.
Kind of funny considering Michael C. Hall was also Toffee.
Yeah, right.
Sorry, I think someone's blending something.
No problem. We're almost done. We're about to wrap up. Anyone in the comments have any opinions on this episode, guys? I'll shout you out in the chat. Just just saying. Or maybe the two people watching Jacob are literally you and me.
I know one of them's me.
Yeah, I don't know if anyways. I guess the other thing we should do, Jacob, do we have any episode titles or anything like that? Any airing schedule?
Let me search real quick. So for me, sorry, I'm trying.
No problem. Yeah.
Okay, so after this, currently there's no other confirmed episode.
Womp womp womp. All right.
Well, so I don't know when the next episode's gonna be.
It was fun while it lasted. All right.
I don't think it's gonna last. Who knows how much longer it's gonna be? I don't think it's gonna last. I don't know about the hiatus. There's gonna be another hiatus.
Who knows?
They very well could have just not announced the next week's episode or something.
All right. Any final thoughts on this one, Jacob?
Definitely a solid episode. The ending kind of feels kind of out of place, but feels kind of out of place from the rest of the episode. But definitely, I wouldn't say it's a near bad by any means at all.
Yeah, I honestly think that the only reason why the ending exists is because we're setting up a future arc with these guys, with the moon people and the hidden city and everything. And I honestly think the episode would have played better if you literally just cut and at the end of the help Della did a much better payoff and would have still made just as much sense within the narrative arc of the season. So that's my one complaint, Jacob. If they would have done that, then it would have been probably the best episode of DuckTales so far. The thing is kind of a wonky, like, it's almost like a weird, like, MCU type thing, right? Where it's like, we need to have it to set up future stuff, but by the same point, it's not something that's very pivotal to the rest of the episode. So in that regard, it feels a little bit out of place. But the rest of the, honestly, Jacob, the rest of the stuff is so good, though. I mean, it's like, this episode really is, at the very least, in my top 5 of the season, or of the series, because I just, like I said, everything about the characterization of Della is so good and so on point that it just doesn't disappoint. And that's really all I have to say. It's just a very, very, very good character piece. It's a great characterization.
I just can't wait to see. Just can't wait to see her finally get back and interact with the rest of the family. although who knows what'll happen when she eventually does? They might be saving that.
Really quick, Jacob. Really quick. WE in the chat says, "Any guess on how she gets back?" I honestly think the next time we see her is going to be like, she's going to get back with the Moon People, and the Moon People are going to make a thing where it's like we come in peace, but then in reality they don't come in peace at all. And then the arc of the season is going to be Della is reuniting with the family, and she's going to think of the Moon People as friends when really the Moon People are plotting behind her back. That's my guess.
And who's to say? Who knows? Scrooge might try to take advantage of the Gold City for all we know.
That's true. That's true too. That's a very good point. Says they enjoyed watching Della duck in this episode. So did I, Biomon. I really love the characterization. I think I'm repeating myself here, but I thought the animation, Jacob, let's just talk about the fluidity of the animation for a second. I'm sorry, I know we were on the final thoughts, but we're getting some last minute comments in here. I mean, the animation was just really on point, from the backgrounds to especially how fluid the way that Della's movements were. I mean, it really felt like classic squash and stretch Disney for me.
So hope we see more of this
Very
kind
enjoyable stuff.
Well, let's hope it's not too long until the next episode.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. All right, folks. Thank you guys so much for watching Pink Pearl Apple. If you're watching this in the future, when you get around to watching your marathon, I hope you enjoyed this one, because I was totally thinking of you, because I know how much you like this character. I would love to see some of Pink Pearl Apple's fan art of Della Duck with the leg, with the robotic leg. Anyways, big thanks to WE and Biomon for watching with us live. Thank you guys so much. And we are out of here.
Da, 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 da. Sorry.
I've had gold in my mouth this whole time.